I rescued a dog from death. Then the police came for him. The truth will shock you. The veterinarian locked the door behind him, and that's when I knew my dog was never really mine to keep. Let me take you back to where this all began, to the moment I made a decision that would change everything. It was an ordinary Saturday morning. I'm Daniel, just a regular guy trying to survive the chaos of raising twin boys. I wasn't looking for a dog that day. I was just buying vegetables at the farmer's market when I saw him. A massive black dog, trapped inside a rusted metal cage against a brick wall. Our eyes met, and I swear something shifted in the air. Those eyes, golden, piercing, almost knowing. They didn't look away. They didn't blink. It was like staring into the soul of something ancient. His ears stood sharp like daggers. His body was perfectly still, like a statue carved from shadow itself. This wasn't a pet. This was something else. The seller barely looked up from his phone. I walked closer, my heart pounding for reasons I couldn't explain. "How much?" I asked. He shrugged. "Take him. Nobody wants him. Too scary. Tomorrow he goes to the pound." The pound? That meant one thing: euthanasia. My chest tightened. I couldn't let that happen. I pulled out my wallet, expecting him to name some ridiculous price. But no, he just wanted him gone. I should have called my wife, Emma. We had 2 wild 4-year-olds at home, Liam and Lucas. Bringing home a mysterious, intimidating dog without warning, that was insane. But I didn't hesitate. I named him right there in my mind. Coda. It felt right, strong, eternal. I opened the cage, clipped on a leash, and walked him to my truck. He followed without resistance. No bark, no whimper, no sound at all. The entire ride home, he sat perfectly still in the passenger seat, staring out the window like he was remembering something far away. I'd never seen a dog so calm. It was unnatural. When I pulled into the driveway, I saw Emma's face in the window. Even from a distance, I could see the shock. Then the front door burst open. Liam and Lucas came running, screaming with joy. I held my breath. This was the moment of truth. But Coda didn't flinch. He stood there like a mountain as the boys crashed into him, hugging his thick fur, laughing uncontrollably. Emma ran out, panic written all over her face. But when she saw how still Coda remained, how gentle, her expression softened. "The coolest dog ever!" the twins shouted in unison. Inside the house, Emma finally exploded. "Are you out of your mind, Daniel? You bought a random dog from a stranger? What if he's dangerous?" I tried to explain. The cage, the pound, the certainty I felt, but words felt weak against her anger. Slowly, though, her fury melted into reluctant acceptance. She saw it too. There was something mesmerizing about Coda, despite his intimidating presence. "You're watching him every second," she said firmly. I nodded. That was fair. Days turned into weeks. Coda fit into our lives like a shadow, silent, steady, always there. But here's the thing. He never barked, not once. Never growled, never whined, never showed excitement or fear. The neighbors, terrified. People crossed the street to avoid us on walks. I saw the fear in their eyes, and honestly, I understood. But Coda? He didn't react. Not to other dogs, not to loud noises, not to anything. It was like living with a ghost. After a month, the silence started eating at me. "Something's wrong," I told Emma one night. "Dogs don't act like this." She agreed. So I booked a vet appointment.
The waiting room was packed. Coda sat calmly beside me, while other dogs barked and squirmed. But people stared. Parents pulled their kids closer. Pet owners clutched their animals tighter. Then a staff member approached, visibly uncomfortable. "Sir, would you mind waiting outside? Some clients feel unsafe." My jaw clenched, but I didn't argue. I knew how this looked. Outside, a man in a long coat stopped in his tracks. He stared at Coda with an intensity that made my skin crawl. Then he knelt down, studying every inch of him. "I'm the head veterinarian here," he said, eyes never leaving Coda. "I just got back from my break, but I need to see this dog, now. I'll bump you to the front of the line." Something about his tone made my stomach drop. 10 minutes later, we were inside the examination room. The vet entered wearing full surgical gear, gloves, gown, face shield, for a routine checkup. I explained Coda's strange behavior, but he barely listened. He circled the dog, taking notes, muttering to himself. Then, without warning, he left through a side door. I heard muffled voices, urgent, tense. 5 minutes passed, then 10. I tried the door, locked. Panic set in. I pounded on it. "What's going on?" When I kicked it open, the vet stood there, calm as ever. "I've called the police," he said flatly. "They'll be here any minute." My blood ran cold. The police? For a dog? He didn't answer. I positioned myself between Coda and the door, heart hammering. Through the window, I saw 2 officers approaching. Behind them, an animal control van. I grabbed Coda's leash, ready to run, but the officers entered with their hands raised, calm. "Sir, please, just listen." I didn't move. The older officers stepped forward. "That dog you have? His real name is Shadow, and he's not what you think." "What are you talking about?" "He was stolen from a spiritual guide in Mexico. Shadow isn't a pet. He's a sacred guardian, trained for rituals, for death ceremonies." My mind went blank. The officer explained. Shadow was a Xoloitzcuintli mix, bred and trained to accompany the dying. In ancient Aztec belief, dogs like him guided souls to the afterlife. His silence? His stillness? That wasn't trauma. It was training. He was conditioned to remain calm in the presence of grief, pain, and death. Everything clicked. The golden eyes, the eerie calm. He'd never been a family pet. He was a spiritual guardian. "He was stolen months ago," the officer continued. "His owner has been searching ever since." I looked down at Coda. No, Shadow. His eyes met mine, and for the first time, I saw something in them. Understanding. I knelt down, my hands trembling as I held his face. "You were never really mine, were you?" My sons burst through the door, Emma right behind them. They ran to Shadow, crying, clinging to him. I had to pry them away. Outside, a black car waited. An elderly man stepped out, dignified, weathered, his eyes deep with ancient wisdom. The moment Shadow saw him, everything changed. His posture softened, his gaze warmed. This was his true home. The man knelt, placing a hand on Shadow's head. The dog sat immediately, perfectly still, as if a sacred ritual had just been completed. The man turned to me. "Thank you. You saved him. You kept him safe." He handed me an envelope. Inside was a reward, more money than I'd ever expected, but it wasn't about the money. "This isn't payment," he said. "It's gratitude." I watched as they drove away, Shadow sitting tall in the back seat, staring straight ahead. The boys cried for days. Emma and I tried to explain that some beings have a destiny bigger than us. Eventually, we adopted another dog, a playful, clumsy puppy that brought noise and chaos back into our home. But late at night, I still think of Shadow. Months later, a letter arrived from Mexico. The guide wrote that Shadow had returned to his sacred role, bringing peace to grieving families once more. "Thanks to you," he wrote, "a tradition lives on." I keep that letter in a drawer with my most precious memories. And sometimes, on quiet winter nights, when the moon is full, I swear I see a shadow watching over us from the edge of the yard. Maybe it's my imagination. Or maybe, just maybe, some bonds transcend distance. Some guardians never truly leave. Shadow wasn't just a dog. He was a reminder that we're all part of something bigger. That sometimes saving a life means letting it go. And that love, real love, means respecting a destiny you can't control. If you've ever had to say goodbye to someone you loved, you know that feeling, that ache, but also that strange, quiet peace. Because some souls aren't meant to stay. They're meant to guide us, to teach us, and then to move on to where they truly belong. Shadow taught me that, and I'll never forget him. If this story touched your heart, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us share more incredible true stories like this one. Have you ever had to say goodbye to a pet for reasons beyond your control? Share your story in the comments below. I read every single one, and your experiences might help someone else going through the same thing. Thanks for watching. Until next time, remember, sometimes the greatest act of love is letting go.